Okay. Hi guys, welcome to How to Get Started Studying for the Test. I'm assuming some of you guys are either in grad school, just getting started. I think from the beginning of ever knowing that you're actually going to be pursuing your BCBA, there's this dreaded thought of taking this test that everyone talks about. I remember when I first heard about the actual test part of it, I was in my first class for ABA and I'm like, I need to be started studying, right? Because you hear about this thing for so long. So you want to make sure you're doing it right. And if you're someone in here who is in grad school or figuring out when you would start, anytime that you're watching this, doesn't matter. It's always a good time to watch any of our videos. So without further ado, how to get started studying for the test. By the way, if you don't know, I'm Liat. You will see me all over the Instagram and everywhere. And that is Casey. Casey is here.
Hey guys, I'm Casey. What's up?
Casey's here today. And by the way, Casey is the sugar and I'm the spice. And Casey is always nice, except that Casey is healing from her surgery right now, but she is still here. And so if anyone's watching this video, that's what commitment looks like. All right, first of all, I think talking about taking the test is an automatic trigger for many people to automatically be stressed and clench your wrist and your neck, or just your whole face gets tight. First of all, take a deep breath, chill. First of all, it's an effing test. All right. At the end of the day, it is an effing test. And I am saying that. And Casey and I are here, and our entire livelihood depends on making people, pass this test and get excited for it. So this probably seems like, well, why are you saying that then? But I am first going to be a normal human with you and tell you it still is a test. Yes, it's big that it could change your career and you go from making $17 an hour to making $80,000 an hour or whatever you're going to make. However, it still is a test and it's something that could be done more than once. All right. You don't want to plan to do that, but if it happens, that's fine. All right. Being here in the first place, if you're like, I think it's going to make me anxious going to this. You know what anxiety is? Anxiety is worrying about things that haven't happened yet and how you're going to get started. Okay. So part of it is being anxious with the idea of I know I got to study. I got to get started studying. I haven't even started. Oh my God, I'm not even looking at my stuff. I don't even have the book. Right. The fact that you're here, that means you have started studying, right? You're taking the first steps. And part of it is accepting all right, I'm going to be taking this test, right? That's part of it. So once you can accept that and realize, oh my God, I came to this talk right now, or I watched this talk on YouTube, and that means I've started. That's good too, right? Because you need to make sure that you're getting started, and that's the first step. Casey, I would just go through and make sure that everyone's muted. I have a feeling some noise is about to come on soon. I'm seeing some people not muted.
I muted.
All right, so perfect. So, and I just want you guys to know that I don't know what you read in other places, but the test doesn't have to be dreaded. It doesn't be like you're waiting for your death sentence day, okay? Just the opposite. This is finally all the school you've been in, sitting through classes, not sleep, whatever it is. You finally get to get there and perform. This is your time. This is all you, baby, right? So this is the first of all, and the main point here is just chill the F out. All right, question 1. When should I start studying? This is a question we get all the time. And again, when people usually enroll in a program, they hear about this test and they're like, I should be started, right? No, okay? When you're in grad school, this is what I say. And again, you're getting my opinion, and I'm sure Casey could say if she wants as well, but I'm going to tell you right now, just make it through grad school. Getting those papers in on time, those assignments, those tests, the readings is enough. And you are just trying to survive, right? I remember myself being in grad school being like, oh my God, I have all this reading to do. I have this, I'm working a job too, trying to get my hours. How am I supposed to be studying? I'm thinking I need to make flashcards for every class. If you're not doing that, that means you're normal, okay? So in grad school, focus on just getting through. You're taking in more than you realize. And I promise you, the extent to like how detailed your studying is going to be different than you just understanding the base of the information. Just try create a basic foundation in grad school. Okay. Don't be obsessed that like you need to be able to differentiate every detail. Okay. So start studying. And I recommend starting to study when you finish grad school. Get through that first, right? Get through that, because that's a huge time commitment, taking full coursework. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are collecting hours too. So let yourself finish grad school and then make this, because right now grad school, let's say, is your other, well, you're kind of working 2 full-time jobs, going to grad school and a full-time job in a clinic or a school or wherever you're getting your hours. So just assume that you could get rid of one of those full-time jobs and then add studying instead after you have finished grad school. Okay, I know that feeling. It's like, okay, you could say like, don't be studying now, but I'm going to be feeling anxious every minute I'm not doing something. So what can you be doing while you're in grad school? You could be listening in your classes. You could be doing your readings for class. I'd recommend to do your readings for class if you can. Don't expect that that's going to be your study level. You need to know it, but just really do the assignments you're assigned. There's other things you could do just to keep your mind, like, just switching over to thinking of things behavior analytically, such as, if you're working somewhere, talk with other people who are in the field about, the strategies you're utilizing with a client. Practice using your ABA language. Listen to our podcast. I'm sorry to sit here and promote ourselves, but I'm going to, for the sake of that, it's free. Like, take advantage of free resources. What does that mean? So if you're driving client to client, and I'm not expecting you to sit there, my husband's now studying for the real estate exam. And I'm like, okay, let's like go on YouTube and type in some practice questions, right? And it's like literally sitting there and it's like, when an account is in escrow, it could be A, blah, blah, B, blah, blah, right? Listen to our podcast. We're talking about behavior analytic language. We're talking about why you like assholes, okay? Whatever it is, you're listening to topics that are interesting and you'll be learning at the same time, right? I'm not expecting you to sit. It's a different kind of study when you're sitting with your book, reading in detail with a magnifying glass, and when you just want to be making sure that you're hearing these words regularly, right? That is what I recommend. Now, some people, and the people like Casey, I imagine, I don't know if she did this or not, but I totally imagine her being the type to be in grad school, working a full-time job and freaking out that she's not studying. So she'd be like, I need to be attending CEUs, right? I'm imagining. Stop. Like, I imagine you being that kind of person. First of all, you're not getting credit for that.
I was at RBT and I went to a ABA Business Builders Conference in Atlanta, Georgia, while I was in grad school to like learn how to open my own practice. And I was the only non-BCBA there. It was like so
that's awkward. The kind of shit you don't want to do. Casey is.
Remember, I was in a collective. I was in a collective studying while in grad school, and I was at that conference, and I was at a restaurant, and I joined class from the restaurant.
Like, you're like, she's weird. Like, this is the kind of stuff you don't want to compare yourself to. She's psychotic, and that's who you don't want to be. Okay. In ABA, we teach examples and non-examples. In that moment, she has so many things going on. Casey didn't know that she should be prioritizing her time, right? Like, because you want to be doing all the things, but all the things is actually ultimately going to be taking away from the things you're doing that you could be doing well, right? And I love Casey more than anything, and I know her, and she's actually someone who's capable and like will go without sleep to make sure she's getting things done. However, I want to be the one to be able to tell you guys, like, it's okay not to be doing that. And in fact, why would you go taking these advanced level stuff that's not? Look at your immediate goal. Immediate goal 1, making it through grad school. Immediate goal 2, taking the test, right? Whatever it is. So just stop right there. Don't compare yourself to other people studying along the way. You don't effing know what they're doing. They're only posting the cute shit they do on Instagram. Okay, that's it. What materials do I need? It is not optional. You need your Cooper book. Your Cooper book, you can see a picture there. I have it here. By the time you're watching this video, most likely, if you're getting started to study now, you are taking the test on the 5th edition task list, which uses the 3rd edition Cooper book. Okay, and that's the picture of it over there. If you don't have the book, and I recommend, I think it would be odd if your grad school program did not make you have this book. But that's one thing also, if you're in grad school, you say, what can I do? And you have not got it. You need to get that like right now. Pause the video, order that book. I know it's like $130 and that's like annoying to spend on a book, but you need it. It's the entire guide to what we do. So your test will be on it. And the fact that you can start familiarizing yourself with it is amazing. Next up, you need the Birch and Bailey ethics book. Let me grab mine right here.
As she's grabbing that, I do want to update that if you're watching this after 2022, the ethics code has changed. It has updated. So you can find that on the BACB website, the new ethics code, but that book is going to be no longer of use, I don't think.
Right. However, because the ethics actual code numbers and stuff have changed, but let me tell you something. The things that it says in this book are still going to be right. And the test does not ask on specific numbers, right? They don't ask like, oh, what was 2.06? Anything that they're saying in here is still going to be right. They've added some things to the task list, but when it says things like always use reinforcement before punishment, that's staying the same. So I want you to know, and we are waiting to see what the newest book that they do bring out is, I'd say. But it's not like this is like, in this book, they're saying it's okay to sleep with clients, and in the new book, they're saying you can't. So just, yes, they are changing. And on our website, we have created an entire video option available just of the ethics of the new ethics codes that you could purchase, where Casey and Karina are talking through all of them. But this is the ethics book. As of right now, I have nothing else to present to you because we're kind of in a weird in between, but this would definitely not harm you reading this book. Let's put it that way.
And I will say,
that?
I will say that the ethics modules package that we're putting out for the 2022 ethics code that Karina and I made, it's like got everything. And we break down real examples that have happened to us in the field. We ask questions at the end of each module, which is each section of there's now 6 sections of the ethics code. And it's fun and it's going to be awesome. And it's like 10 hours of ethics. So it's going to be I think your number one place to go to study the new ethics code.
Especially, yeah, because there's no really book. But what I'm saying is nothing you're going to read in here is going to like screw you over. And just in case anyone's freaking out, like you see all these codes and they're changing, you're never going to be asked a specific number. It's not going to be like, what is 7.03, right? Whatever, you just need to understand like how the ethics codes play into everything. All right, this is going to sound like, okay, well, no shit. But I mean, like when I say you need to get pens, markers, highlighter, glitter, stickers, a nice notebook. I was just designing the most beautiful notebook yesterday. But get these things. You could get them on our site or you could get them anywhere, but you need to have pens that are going to make you excited to study. Okay. Even if you're like, oh, I'm the kind of person who I'm not really into office supplies, what's wrong with you? Are you a serial killer? But if you're not, that's okay. You still will enjoy it. I promise, having different color pens. There's something about it. Get a pen that's a little nicer than a pen you usually get. Get the one that has glitter in it. Get the one that has like highlighting options, whatever it is, because it will make your studying better. Okay. It doesn't have to suck, the process. And that's what we do around here. You need to create a study area that you will enjoy studying in. Okay. And by enjoy, I also mean, don't put it in the middle of your dining room table if you have kids running around. Like you're just setting yourself up. You know, we are trying to set up environments here that are going to be conducive. Even if it has to be a closet, like your bedroom closet that you like move a rack of clothes, so you can put a desk there and shut yourself in there. Whatever it is, make a study area that you enjoy. You might not enjoy sitting in a closet. I don't know, but maybe like you put a candle there and you know, like I have a candle there when I study, whatever it is. What materials do you need? This is kind of a joke, but kind of serious. Us. That's why we put this picture of us. You don't have to have study notes ABA. However, we are there to help you if you want it as an option. When you're freaking out, we do help you from start to finish, like every single thing you're going to need to know for the test, break it down for you. Again, if it's something you don't want to invest money in, that's also fine. You could study on your own. I still would recommend, I mean, first of all, you still are going to need your Cooper book, still are going to need to study your ethics. And I would personally recommend still having cool study supplies because everyone loves some good pens and markers. All right. Common question we get all the time. My grad school and supervision program sucked. I did not learn anything. My supervisor never met with me. I have no idea what I'm doing, blah, 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 blah. Does this ruin my chances at the test? Okay. And I want to tell you something, and I mean this in the kindest way possible. Okay. So please don't get offended. You are not special. What do I mean by that? You are not the only person this has happened to. And it's very unfortunate and sad, especially in a field of behavior analysis where we're trying to be detailed and reinforcing. But I hear this way more than I would like to. People being like, I do not even know what I learned in grad school, which makes me so sad. And something's got to change. And you're saying, are you completely screwed? You are not completely screwed. You are not completely screwed. This is probably one of the most common statements that we hear. Like Casey probably could agree to that. She attests to that. She does the email. I see it on Instagram all the time. I get in my Instagram lives. You're going to be okay. I know at least for our collective, we have made it that our goal with our collective is to teach you everything from the bottom up, as if you have never learned about behavior analysis before. I want to break it down so much that you could be, I mean, will it help that you have a background in it? Sure, right? But I want to make it so broken down for you that you don't even have to have studied this before. It will definitely help and be an advantage if you've heard of some of these words, but you are going to be okay. And I am so sorry that you had such a crappy supervision experience. And I agree that sucks. And what sucks even more is that you only kind of realize how shitty it was once you start trying to like apply for the test, or you're studying for the test and you're like, dude, why did no one tell me this? You feel like kind of screwed over. But I want you to know you're going to be okay. You will still pass this test. And as a result, you will do better when it is your time to supervise someone else. Okay. So you will be okay, and you still can pass this test, and you will be okay. Do I need to choose a program to study with, or can I do it on my own? This is totally up to you. And does the program have to be ours at Study Notes ABA? No. If you find another program that's going to work for you, we really just want you to pass the test and get more BCBAs out there, because we are limited and there are many people who need BCBA superheroes. So if you find something else that you think is going to work better for you, that's fine. Or if you want to study on your own, that's an option too. If you're someone disciplined and you could sit and, make sure you're reading and studying and taking mock exams, awesome. If you're someone and you feel like you need a program and you're like, I don't know where to start, I feel like I do not really have a solid foundation. I can't really speak for other programs. I could speak for ours and tell you about that. What we do is take someone who is like class number one, shit, I've signed up for the test, now where the hell do I start? All the way through every single item you're going to need on the task list. But if you may not need that, again, I don't want anyone thinking I'm sitting here just trying to sell you something. It's an option if you want to do it, but you do not have to. And if there's other programs that you think would work better for you, find what works for you. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Find what works for you. Do not compare what someone else did to what you need to do.
I also think my other tip for this is, program or not, find yourself a study group, okay? Or even just one person that you talk this shit out with. Because I know, like, I would study by myself, and then I'd go to meet with my study partner and she'd ask me a question, or we'd quiz each other, and I'd be like, shit, like, I really needed to talk this out. I actually wasn't retaining what I was reading very well. So we would meet more often and read together and be like, oh, what is this? What do you think of this? What's your takeaway? How can you break this down? And like, how can you explain it to someone who has no idea what Cooper is saying? So just find yourself a person, and they'll be your person. You can always post in the Facebook group to find study groups. There are always people out there looking for people to get together. Look at people in your grad program, whatever it may be.
He's talking about our Study Notes ABA Facebook group. It's free to be a part of. Join. People are always, and they post like questions that they're studying. You definitely want to be talking it out with people who are also studying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice point, Casey. Even when she's recovering, she's still got a brain on her. All right. You post a ton of passing testimonials about this so-called collective. What's all this buzz that you talk about? Okay. If you follow us on Instagram or Facebook, you see people posting about our collective. And I realize that it's so like normal for us to talk about this collective that we may not have explained exactly what it is. more recently, our collective is that's our program for people studying for the BCBA, BCABA exam, where we have broken down every single thing you need to know for the test into 20 classes. It does not go in the order of the Cooper book because we have this, found a way that each thing builds on each other. Like, hey, you're going to need to understand this if you want to know this, right? We start from day one, how to get started studying in more detail, what steps we need you to do, how to prepare, like how are you going to do this? Like, how are you going to get this done in what amount of time? We create the entire study plan. We go through everything every Monday and Wednesday night, or if you could get a recorded option, they're the same thing. And we take the notes with you. We are very into the kinetic or kinesthetic. My brain's kind of
Kinesthetic.
Kinesthetic.
Kinetic is like energy.
Kinetic and potential energy. You're right. This is not any physics. I'm sorry. This is kinesthetic.
Not scaring everyone.
Writing and the visual learning of things. If you're a visual learner, if you are someone who has ADHD, this is probably going to be your best option, coming from someone myself who has ADD and ADHD and cannot focus on anything. The importance of writing the notes with us. So you will also learn the skill of taking notes, pulling out the important parts. We'll tell you what to read in the book. We'll be giving you the entire time, like, also testing tips as you go through. Like, if you see anything about this, you got to be looking for this and this. Okay, now let's practice it. We can practice questions. We allow you guys to answer questions. We also are providing everything in real life, because what is important for you to know is that this test is not only about working with individuals with autism. If you really understand the behavior of, or the science of behavior analysis, you understand that you could apply it to dolphins, you could apply it to your boyfriend, you could apply it to your employee, you could apply it to the pigeon outside your house that comes for food, right? So our examples are all very real, relatable. Also, a lot of our stuff is very inappropriate, foul language. So if that's not for you, I do not recommend signing up for the collective. I just want to give you fair warning. Consider that like your explicit signal in front of a movie. So like, if that's not for you, I really do not recommend our product. Please, I'm saying that clear. And not that we don't want you, but I just want you to do something that you're comfortable with. I'll tell you one thing, you will not forget the ways that we teach you. That's for sure. All right, what do we do at Study Notes? What do we offer? We offer, starting from our program of the collective, right? We have the option, you could get it recorded or you could come live. People like coming live if they want the accountability aspect. Like, I need to be somewhere every Monday and Wednesday night. And I know I'm going to show up, but they're also available in video bundles. And that is going to be the same product. Just one, you have us live there. You could ask questions throughout, or we have 3 BCBAs in the chat with you and myself and Casey teaching out loud. We also have mock exams that you could take, and all our mock exams have feedback and where you need to go read in your book. We also have Bitches Talk a Mock, an audio mock you could listen to while you drive around and break down the questions. We also have Bitches Talk the Task List, and that is we are talking through every item of the task list and giving real life examples with it. I don't know, I forgot how many hours it is. Casey probably knows, like 8, 9?
8, I think it's 8. The task list, yeah.
8 hours. You could drive around and listen to my raspy ass voice talking to Casey, if that's something that you like.
Like radio host voice, so it's fine.
We have some specialty classes, how to get started studying. We have a shit ton of free resources on YouTube. If you're watching this, you've obviously figured out that we have YouTube. We have a lot of free resources on there. We have a lot of question dissection classes we offer, which is definitely, I think, a favorite of a lot of people, where we bring in really difficult test questions that we've written, and we have give you guys opportunity to answer them, and then we break it down together. Those are all on our website. I'm probably forgetting so many things. We have, oh my God, we have coloring books, coloring activity books that actually has activities where you are actually learning while like drawing and taking notes. And we have so much. Casey probably could tell you more on the site. This is just what's on my brain.
I'm trying to like, I just had one in my
head. We have a ton of merch, study actual supplies.
Oh, tutoring.
Tutoring. Thank you. We have tutoring, specialty classes.
Workbooks, math workbooks, ethic workbooks, collective homework packets.
Homework packets, good, ethics bundles. We have a lot of stuff on there. We have an app to practice your knowledge as you go through. Our free podcast, Behavior Bitches. If you don't listen, you're missing out, let me tell you.
I was gonna say too,
All right.
when you're in grad school is I used Quizlet because there was no app around, but Quizlet was an app that I would practice. So I would use the app while you're in grad school for sure, just for practice.
That's the Study Notes ABA app, and it is about to be out on Android. All right, right now it's on iOS. Okay, you want to know more about getting started and not hating every second? We have 2 podcasts. Studying doesn't have to suck. Getting started. This is all about like different studying method, how to get started and making it not suck, choosing and self-management skills. We did this podcast back in November and December of 2020, but the same still holds true. You could listen to it on you can go on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. Type in Behavior Bitches podcast, and you will see part 1 and part 2 of Studying Doesn't Have to Suck.
Yeah, and we tie in a ton of behavior principles, like probably everything on the task list. We try to pull in to like talk about how to apply it to your studying.
So you will be like, oh my God, I'm learning concepts as I'm figuring out how I'm going to study. So this is a free resource. Go take advantage. Go follow us on our Instagram, Study Notes ABA. We have a lot of real life examples. Whatever I see going on in the environment, I'm always tacting and letting you know what behavioral principle that is, how it relates, what we see going on. We have a lot of free events I recommend you coming to, so follow. And our Facebook group is amazing. People are like posting stuff all the time that they're using to study, and people explain to each other. It's a very community driven environment to ask questions. Again, free, take advantage of it. Free is, if there are resources that are free minus mock exams, take advantage of what you can. I know it's an expensive process. Mock exams, do not take free mock exams. They are not free when the content on them is written incorrectly. That's screwing you over.
I would say that in our file section under the Facebook group, there's a ton of free resources in there too. So take advantage of those.
Awesome. Just wanted to show you some things on our app that are fun. Oh, Casey left out my best picture of it. So there's a lot of questions. You can choose your category. You can choose your contingency, what you want to work for. Do you want to work for popping pimples on Skinner's face? Do you want to work for filling your glass of wine? Do you want to work for growing the plant? Whatever it is, everyone's different reinforcers. We get it. It will create a study schedule for you based on the date you're testing. It's all there. It's great to pull out while you're on the toilet or between doing anything, not while you're driving. Don't want to do that. And this is great for you to just practice your questions. And there's like tons of questions on there for you to practice.
There's like over 3,000, right?
Yeah. Reach out with any questions, contact at studynotesaba.com. You can reach us there. We are very responsive. That's Casey. She is literally coming out of surgery anytime, half asleep, doing it at 3 a.m. Your answers will get,
your questions will get answered.
Your questions will get answered. That is right. Remember, this is our final note before we finish this. This shit does not have to be aversive. This, and I put another capital H. I wrote this one at the end because I wanted to add it real quick before we started. This is exciting. You can finally put all your schooling to work. So remember that it's also about the way you talk to yourself about it. Like, this doesn't have to suck. It can actually be fun. And we happen to be studying the coolest science ever, okay? I often give the example just because one of my best friends is a dentist. I'm like, that looks like it sucks, studying the tooth forever. How are you gonna apply that to real life? Like, we have a science that you could use everywhere, and it provides you a superpower to understand the world around you. Mm-hmm. And that is all I really have to say for you today. So the main thing is you coming to this is you starting, okay? Because now you have a plan and it gives you an idea of what you're thinking, what you're going to do, right? Whether you're going to study alone, whether you're going to get a study person to meet with you, what you're going to do. And I guess I should have added also that in our collective, we also will give you the timing. Like, all right, we're this far in. I need you to start taking a mock now. All right. So there's no like guesswork, like, oh, should I be taking it? I've been studying for 3 days. We'll tell you. Don't worry. We will literally guide you the entire way through. But whatever you decide to do, it doesn't have to suck. And in the end, it's a test. You'll pass it when the time is for you. And that's all I have to say. So thank you guys for coming. Bye-bye.
We'll see you soon. Love you, meet it.